Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Captain's Coach. If you're new here, my name is Captain Will Mason. Today we're on a 44 Fontaine Peugeot. This is part of our southbound trip from Atlantic City to Fort Lauderdale. We're on leg 4 of our trip. We just left Coinjock this morning and we're heading to Beaufort and Morehead City via the ICW. We're about to come into Pamlico Sound right now as we speak. My first make late driving this morning. Doing a great job navigating this open water. Let me take you back to this morning, pushing off the dock. If you haven't checked out the first 3 videos of this trip, definitely check those out as well. That way you can catch up on where we're at. Come along for the ride. All right, go ahead. That beep was the sound of the motors going from neutral into gear, letting me know that I'm out of joystick docking mode. All right, 150 miles to Morehead City, Beaufort. Good job, Mr. Lake. We are about 7 in the morning. Still got 4 more days probably of this. Heading to Lauderdale. If you guys haven't checked out my last 2 videos from the start of this trip in Atlantic City, Ocean City, and Norfolk, y'all definitely go back and check those out. Leg 1 and leg 2, and leg 3. Leg 1, leg 2, leg 3. This is leg 4, right? Right, leg? Yeah, leg 4. We've had some issues along the way that we've had to get fixed, and we've had some seas we had to overcome. Overall, been a great trip so far, but we're I wouldn't even say we're halfway home yet. We have a lot of running to do, but luckily the weather is getting better for us. It's getting on our side, but we got to get down to the North Carolina coast where we have some options, and that's the goal today. So 150 miles down the ICW to Beaufort, North Carolina. Get a fuel stop going and figure out what we're going to do from there. Yeah, tight spot here in the ICW. I actually tried to get on the radio with this guy, but his radio was not on. I hailed him several times. On 71? Got a dredge here on the They're moving, aren't they? They're moving super slow. It's 6.8 under the feet, under the boat. I definitely don't want to get shallower than this. Yeah, I kind of stay close to them. I wasn't sure whether they were moving for a minute. I thought they might have been just sitting there. Yeah, neither of those tows we passed, and the last one was a tow pulling a dredge. Neither of those guys were very talkative this morning. They didn't want to respond on the radio. First tried 16, then I tried 68, then I tried 71. I didn't really have time to try another channel, so I just came around. I picked the side that was to look the best and decided to come around them. Sometimes you just got to do that. It depends on where you are in the world. Some of these guys in the tows, they are monitoring and they care and they're responsive, and sometimes they're not. It really just depends on where you're at, who you're dealing with. Most of the time they will come back on the radio, and I always advise to get on the radio, ask them what they prefer you to come around, because you never know, you know, there's turns in the ICW and stuff, and they might prefer you on one side or the other. So if you're going to overtake them or pass them oncoming, just make sure to try to get in touch with them at least. Yeah, coming into the Albemarle Sound, not a lot of markers out here in this open water. We're following the channel here, but definitely a lot of skinny water to our port and starboard, and the markers are very spread out. This is when a lot of people get into trouble. Lake's doing a good job focusing and paying attention to that chart line, but you know, you got all this water, and then you got markers that are really far apart from each other. You can definitely get off course very easily. Remember, they're not out here putting markers out here to make roads. If there's a marker at a certain point, there's a reason why. So, you gotta line one marker up with the next, follow your chart, and pay real close attention. The moment you daze off is when you kind of come over here just a little bit, and boom, next thing you know, you're on the bottom. Not a lot of people understand the amount of focus that you have to have to do this. Sometimes it takes a person to run aground a time or two before they realize how much focus it takes. I've seen it many times. All right, coming into Albemarle. Opens up a little bit out here in the bay, in the sound. Pretty nice day to run. We have decided to take the eastern route through Pamlico. It's pretty much the same distance to go the Alligator River on the north side or the west side, but we're able to stay on plane and make better time taking the Pamlico route, the eastern route, and coming into the top side of North Carolina over there. So that's the plan. We're going to go into Croatan Sound here, and that's where it gets a little shallow for a few miles, and then after that it gets more open in Pamlico. So that's the plan. We're running that way. Got about 9 miles to go, so before we hit that channel. Then we'll have to work our way through there very carefully and get back in the sound, and we're headed to Beaufort. Take a good time, about almost 9 o'clock, so already making better time. You know, coming through that river from Coinjock, part of the ICW, into Albemarle, we were pretty much on the wheel the entire time. We did a mixture of slow and fast, but once we got out to Albemarle and it opened up, I simply created a auto guidance route to where I want to go over here, and then we're just using the follow route autopilot function, and that way we get, you know, 10 to 15 miles of not really using our brain, just kind of relax, let the autopilot drive it, but obviously paying attention. But yeah, like, watch out for them crab pots too, all right? All right, coming into Croatan Sound, this is where the channel gets a little tight. Manteo is over there, Roanoke Island. Nice day out. Coming under the bridge into Manteo. And this is going to connect us into Pamlico. This is the Croatan Sound. Croatan, I don't know. A couple guys fishing on the inside of the bridge. Pull it back for them. Chris Craft, a little center console Chris Craft. From here on, after this bridge, for a few miles there until we get into Pamlico and the Croatan Sound, it gets pretty skinny according to the chart, even in the channel. And I guess what I mean by skinny is between 5 to 8 feet, which back in Florida, that's normal, and that's not really that skinny, but when you're going through a new area, it's good to slow it down, because this area of North Carolina and the ICW and these sounds are known for pretty bad shoaling. We're just making sure here that the next couple miles that we're not going to get into anything less than 4 to 5 feet. Which I don't think will happen. The tide's up. The tide's 2.5 or up 2 right now. So high tide. So I'm just going to line my markers up best I can, and we'll pay attention to the depth chart and see what happens here. But yeah, the markers are pretty far apart down there. So we're just trying to get in a straight line here and see what the depth sounder looks like. First shallow spot's coming up. But I am lined up and I am in the channel with that green, so unless there's something bad we don't know about, it should be fine. Well, we went over the first hump there and got 8 feet under the boat, so that's not bad. Once I see some more evidence of it, went down to 7. Once I see some more evidence of that, then we'll pick it back up on plane here. .8. Alright, back up on plane. I did an auto guidance route. I had to adjust it a lot to get her to kind of keep us out in the middle of the sound a little bit more. When you do auto guidance on long distances, it likes to ride the edges of channels. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, I went in there and adjusted the route over to deeper water in a lot of places. And we're on a 91 mile, 2 o'clock ETA. That's right at the where the ICW starts coming into Beaufort, north of Beaufort. Let's see, I think it's Pamlico Sound, I believe, something like that in that area. That's a 2 o'clock ETA on plane, but we'll probably slow it down here in a couple hours and maybe grill some brats for lunch while we're going slow or something like that. But now we just got to keep a sharp eye, make sure this chart plotter doesn't do anything crazy to us. But it sure is a nice day in the Sound. Pamlico Sound can get very rough, like 4 to 6 foot white capping. Outer Banks, Pamlico Sound, nothing to mess with for sure, weather-wise. We got some good conditions today and tomorrow. Nice Hatteras over there, pulling his dinghy. Man, it is glass out here. We're able to keep the speed up too, which is nice. I'm glad we're in here and not around the Outer Banks, huh, Lake?
Very nice.
Yeah, he's moving some water. Big dude. Well, we got some broads going, and while I was up here messing around, I found the fishing tackle back here, which is a real treat. Our Atlantic crossing, or crossing to Florida, just got a whole lot more interesting. So he had a couple conventional rods here. He had a TLD and an old pin, it looks like. And it looks like he bought some stuff that was still in the package, a squid daisy chain and a pre-rigged wahoo whacker, just some simple stuff you buy from Tackle Shop, but I rigged it all up. And, you know, not the nicest stuff, but hey, he's got it, and it's gonna work. So hopefully on our crossing, we'll land us a few dolphin and maybe a wahoo, I don't know. See what we can get on our crossing, so. That'll be tomorrow or the next day, one of the two. I'm thinking about doing 48 hours from Morehead to St. Augustine, or maybe to Stewart, depending on the fuel, something like that. So we're gonna be out there a while. Luckily we have Starlink, we can keep us entertained. And now we're gonna keep us entertained with this fish, with fishing. Maybe we'll catch a bonita or something, we'll use him for strip bait or whatnot, but we'll figure it out. Coming into Adams Creek, which is north of Beaufort. So we're almost done with Pamlico. 3 miles, we're in the Intercoastal. We're back in the Intercoastal, technically. So we came from over there. Intercoastal comes over here and it makes a turn up to the north a little bit. But got a little storm brewing. There's a storm over there in the mainland, pushing all these wind and this white caps over here. So we're gonna keep it moving until we start getting wet. I think we're gonna miss it, but we'll see. Well, it got pretty windy right at us. Sorry for the wind noise. Nothing I can do about it. I got my mic on. Woo. Man, I was gonna send it out into the Atlantic tonight after we fuel up, but I don't know now. It's freaking windy. I don't know where this came from. It does calm down a lot in the morning, but yeah, I'll slow down for this guy. Adams Creek, pretty cool. That's a big old house over there. You see that, Luke? Yeah. I've never noticed that. 10 miles to Beaufort, Morehead City. My plan is to go to Portside Marina in Morehead City. It's pretty convenient. It's right there off the ICW, right at the inlet. Once again, I was planning on going out into the Atlantic tonight, but if this wind doesn't chill out, I don't really feel like starting the trip out in threes. I'd rather it calm down. Well, the tide is going out in this canal, and we picked up about a knot of speed. Got it pushing us downstream here. Pretty cool place. I could live here. North Carolina would be an option for me, but it sure does get cold in the winter. That's the only problem. Jarrett Bay Boat Works. I built some world-class sport fishes there. Could stop and get fuel there, but usually Safe Harbor is pretty expensive on fuel. Pretty cool spot. I went there one time years ago. Coming to Beaufort. Bridge is right up there. Really got to make a decision here about what we're going to do, whether I'm going to anchor up for the night, let this wind calm down, and maybe leave out in the middle of the night or something like that. I don't know. Or wake up in the morning and go, but it's windy. I don't want to get kicked around all night, but done it before though. I don't know. Coming into Morehead. Morehead Yacht Basin is down that canal. All right. Come on in there, bud, why don't you? I guess he didn't see me. We made it to Morehead City. We're gonna come around here, come around the corner here and go to the Morehead Gulf docks, or Morehead City docks, and get some diesel. Pretty sure they got an easy dock in and out there. Fuel prices look cheap too, so we'll hop in there, top off, and figure out where to go from here. It doesn't make much sense to me at this late in the day to come down the ICW to another inlet to prepare for a cross. I don't think that makes sense to me at the moment, because it's 5 o'clock. I mean, we're not going to be able to get that far down the road, you know what I mean? It's not like we're going to make it to Wilmington or anything like that. So it's almost like we stage here and anchor, get some sleep, and then wake up early in the morning and head out of the inlet when the winds calm down, because it's still blowing out here. It's busy. Look at all these boats coming in here. Do our big 400-mile cross when the seas are 2 foot or less. That would be ideal. I got you on 9.
Yeah, this is Gulf Docks. What can we do for you, Cap?
A 44 Power Cad right here at the inlet here, coming in for fuel or diesel.
Roger that. We got some guys out on the dock. Help you tie up and get you filled up when you get here.
Roger, thank you. Blake, I guess do starboard side, all right? I think we're gonna need fenders.
Starboard side fenders?
Yeah, I think it's a floating dock. Looks like they made a spot for us. Olympus Dive Center is down here. I used to do a lot of diving with them. Graveyard of the Atlantic. Run out 50 miles, diving 100 and 130 feet of water on all the old World War II sunken ships and U-boats. Pretty cool. Nice people that run that place. The Purifoys. Bobby Purifoy. Fender's low enough, Lake? There you go, Lake. Nice. Just like that. Good made, good dock hands. Piece cake. Sounds like it will click off, but keep an eye on it. It's flowing quick, real quick. All right, let me get them fired up. Thanks, bud. Have a good one.
Yeah, man, you too. Have a good trip, man.
Oh, look at that. They raised some fish. Sick. See the flags?
We got a flag raised.
A lot of boats out today. Apparently it's the kids' Big Rock tournament. They're like gnats out here. The inlet is full of people.
Level 47, buddy.
Is that a 47? It looks a little bigger than 47.
60. They made us 50.
They raised a couple fish. Old Hatters. That thing's been redone. That's like a mid-90s, right? Late 90s. Got a nice paint job on it. Somebody's taking good care of that boat. Coast Guard station. All right, here's the plan. We're gonna come out of the inlet. We're gonna get out past maybe, I don't know, halfway. We're gonna see how the seas look. If not, we'll come back and we'll anchor up here on the point for tonight. And then we'll get up super early and make our cross, or start our cross. We have a long cross, so that is the plan. I think we're gonna go out and see how it looks. I don't want to get thrown around all night. Y'all saw what this boat does in the previous videos. In a head sea at slow speed, it's not enjoyable. It doesn't take them very well. It slaps the bottom of the boat. You know, you really got to get it up on plane. Well, guess what? I can't get it up on plane to do a crossing that long because we will burn too much fuel. So these are the things you have to walk through as a delivery captain. I could get it up on plane tomorrow and go to Charleston and refuel and then do the crossing from there. Do I want to do that? Not really. I'd rather just go from here. Just one of those things. We have to weigh the odds here. Old Bertram running out. Speed up. Big dude. I still haven't got my gauge on it. I can't tell if it's going to lay out or not after the inlet. I mean, we're still bobbing, but could also be this sea breeze. Definitely don't want to do this for 400 miles, or even the next 5 hours would suck. Okay, yep. Hey, it just doesn't take these well. It doesn't knock them out of the way. It just barrels right into them. Jesus. Well, I turned it around. We're coming back into the inlet. We're going to anchor up just inside the pier, the point here. You know, I know it's going to get better once we get out of the inlet. The windy forecast shows that it's going to blow 15 to 18, like out kind of in the middle of the Atlantic, where we're going to cross, like where we're cutting through the next 5 to 6 hours. And then Sunday morning-ish, tomorrow morning-ish, it really lays out flat. This is not the boat. It's a nice boat. I like this boat. I don't want to talk down this boat. This is not an open water cruise, you know, open water, open ocean, rough water boat by any means. This is not the boat to try to bust through these 3s and 4s for the next 5 hours while the wind's blowing straight at me, straight at my bow. We're just not going to do it. I'm turning it around here. We're going to go anchor up for the night, get up real early and make our cross. The conditions for Sunday, Monday look phenomenal. A lot better than they do right now. I mean, you saw it coming out of the inlet. We were bobbing pretty good. It actually got worse. I wasn't able to film it. And you might can tell from behind me, it's blowing. It's stacked up pretty good. I mean, it's not awful. Like, once again, if we were in a 45-foot sport fish, we'd be rolling, but not in a 44-foot power cat that does not bust waves out of the way. We're not going to do that. So I don't want the whole boat to be thrown in shambles. We definitely enjoyed our day rolling down the ICW through Pamlico Sound and coming into Adams Creek. That was all awesome. This boat is phenomenal for stuff like that. Very comfortable cruising the Intracoastal. You gotta know your boat's limits. Every boat has its own limit. You have to figure that limit out. All right, anchor's going down. Not the best place to anchor, but I want to be close to the inlet. After all these boats go by tonight, it should be pretty calm. Wind should die overnight too, so it'll be a little bumpy while all these boats are still coming in from offshore fishing. All right, it's 65 feet, and we're in, I don't know, 10 to 12 feet of water. All right, you see that? Here, let's let it come tight real quick. You see that soft shackle hanging on the rail? Yeah. So what you do is you take that apart. Okay, see that loop that's hanging on the rail? Shackle off, and then what you do is you slip that soft shackle in your hand through that loop, and then you put it through the chain, and it will cinch down on the chain, and that will hold our bridle in place. Okay? I'll come help you. Olympus Dive Center over there, rolling in. Everybody's still coming in. Put your soft shackle through there. Good. I guess that's how he's got it set up. Good, cinch that down. Good, and then look, as I let it out, the goal is for both of these black lines to be tight, and then there's no tension on the chain. All right? So go ahead and play with it. If that's loose, good, then you know you did it. Cool. Should I a little bit more out, or are we good? All right, cool. Hope you understood that anchoring process with the bridle. I'll try to cover that some more on this trip, but we're using the bridle. I've also got Navionics tracking me with the yellow line. You hit start on Navionics, and that tracks your anchor and your swing pattern. And I'm also using the Anchor Pro app, where you can set your relative distance to the anchor, and you can set that anchor alarm. And it has a pretty nasty alarm as well. It'll wake you right up out of a dead sleep. I use it all the time. Works very good. It's very accurate. So I've got my Anchor Pro alarm on, and generally that's all I use is the Anchor Pro and Navionics to make sure that I'm not dragging overnight. If the Anchor Pro alarm goes off, then generally, if I have it set up correctly, then generally that's a bad thing, and I'll go straight to Navionics and see if that yellow line is tracking out of the pattern that it's been in. So that is the plan for tonight. Lake and I made some tacos tonight, watched all the sport fish boats running the inlet. Like I thought, it was pretty rocky for a couple hours, but once everybody gets out of here, it's really nice. It's laid down. We've been enjoying the night. There's this cool little creek right here where it looks like on a high tide, people are getting into the ICW over there. They're kind of running through the creek there on their flats boats, which is pretty cool. It's getting dark. Plan is to leave at probably 6, 7 in the morning, as soon as the sun comes up. But we've got our anchor light on. Made sure to check that. I always forget that sometimes, not gonna lie. Sitting right in here at the Beaufort Inlet Coast Guard Station is right over there. But really hope you guys enjoyed the video of us running from Coinjock through the Pamlico Sound down to Morehead City today. Got a long trip planned across the Atlantic Ocean, most likely to St. Augustine. We're gonna be out there for roughly 46 hours. And like I said in this video, found some fishing gear, so that's gonna be fun to play with. We'll see what we catch in the next video. Crossing the Gulf Stream. We're going to be probably right on the edge of the Gulf Stream, not in it, but right on the edge. Definitely would not want to be in the Gulf Stream going south while the Gulf Stream's going north. So got to make sure we stay out of that. You know, the Gulf Stream kind of moves a little bit depending on weather and the time of year. I think we're going to be fine. We're going to be right on the edge of it going across. Most people don't cross from Morehead City to Florida. They usually go down to Charleston. So we got the fuel. So we're just gonna go. I don't really want to stop again. So the goal is to get to Florida as fast as we can. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. Hope you're learning some stuff along the way while enjoying the sights. We'll see you on the next video on our crossing to St. Augustine. Thanks again.